If you want to check out the new Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette in collaboration with Jackie Aina, then please keep on watching. Hello my friends, if it's your first time here, my name is Alicia. Thank you so much for clicking. And if you are returning, I appreciate you stopping by again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves all things movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram where I have all my daily movement musings. Jackie. Before I begin, timestamps will be down below. There have been lots of thoughts and perspectives surrounding this collaboration. If anything, I would check out Nappy Head and Jojoba. Her video on Jackie Aina and her collaboration pretty much aligns with what I feel about it. So I chose to buy the palette because I chose to support her. If you wish to share why you're not a fan, I just hope that you keep it cordial and any uncalled for mean comments will be deleted. From what I've seen, people are selectively forgiving. They prioritize certain transgressions over others, and depending on how they feel about that person will determine where they stand in regards to that person. As humans, we are very inconsistent with our emotions and our righteousness. People definitely choose who they want to be mad at, but their reasons are just not consistent with why they would support someone else. So I'm just gonna say this. It's all about the palette today. We're gonna have fun with it. I support Jackie Aina. I bought it. This is not PR. And I'm really happy to see this collaboration happen. Congratulations to Jackie Aina. ABH is a huge brand, and to work with them and create something out of your creative space speaks volumes in terms of your influence in the beauty space. So again, congratulations, and let's get into it. Here is the palette, and this is very much all Jackie Aina and the extraness she exudes. I tried to choose a nail polish that was very much like how the palette is. I try to make it as iridescent as possible. And this is iridescent. This is not holographic. Yes, I am a sock, because it does not reflect the whole spectrum of the rainbow. So we consider this to be unicorn skin. And that's why I kept my nails very unicorn skin and didn't apply a hollow taco over it. This palette retails for $45. You could also get the PR set that comes in a bigger snakeskin iridescent box, as well as an iridescent bag, which I kind of wish I knew about before I bought just the palette, because I love iridescent bags. This has a recommended shelf life of 18 months. It is cruelty free. Eyeshadows and pressed pigments made in the USA. I'll be sure to log on to Anastasia's website just to grab those shade descriptions and to distinguish what are shadows and what are pigments for you guys. Here it is. Typical 14 shadows from Anastasia. Here is the palette, and I feel it definitely looks better in person. People were going on about how this is a combination of Modern Renaissance and Norvina. I agree. There are shades in here that definitely pull from those color stories or remind you of those color stories. I was watching Rocio Cervantes last night, and she made a great point that although some of these colors might remind you of Modern Renaissance and Norvina, they're not the same undertone, and these actually might have a little more saturation because Jackie wanted to create a palette that catered to deeper skin tones. Now you could feel what you want about it, but there have been a lot of palettes in the past and currently that were catered to only a certain part of the skin tone spectrum. And to guarantee that all 14 shades will show up on deeper complected individuals is quite reassuring. So I can't wait to get into this palette. I don't know how many looks I want to do today. I warned my eyelids it might be a 5-look day, maybe 4, we'll see, but I definitely want to give you guys a good idea of how the palette performs. And like all my review videos, this is not to force you to buy it. This is mainly information. You can see the shades, you can see how they work, how they look. Maybe it's not for you, maybe it is for you, but again, not forcing you to buy the palette. If you just like to watch me apply eyeshadow, well, let's do it. Soleil is a metallic gold soft peach with a gold shift. That's what I meant to say. I'm gonna swatch this again because my finger is too big for the pan. There we go. That's really pretty. I like that a lot. That could be possibly used as a highlighter. Supreme is a matte rosy pink. Oh, that's nice. We like. Pinker is a matte mid-tone cool plum. Ooh, I'm looking forward to Pinker. I think we might start out with that. Big Wig. My apologies, asterisks indicate pigment. So Supreme, Pinker, and Big Wig are pigments, probably because these shadows could possibly stain your eye, so just proceed with caution. Matte Rich Purple. These feel great. I like what's happening so far. Dollars, typical Jackie vocab, is a metallic golden olive. Ooh, credit. Ooh, a deep matte plum brown. I love plum browns. I love them so much. Lituation is a metallic deep taupe with a metallic shift. Ooh, I like that too. That's pretty. Zam is a sparkling rose gold, and this I believe was one of the newer formulas Anastasia was playing with when featured in their Norvina palette, excuse me, that it has a little more texture to it because it definitely has a lot more shine to the shadow. Wiggly, it's metallic cranberry red. Nice, classic. Can't live without that shade. Shookington, metallic violet with a blue shift. I definitely picked up a lot because I wanted you guys to see the blue shift, and there it is, definitely prominent in that shadow. Trust Issues is a sparkling white gold. Edges is a matte deep peach. I freaking love that shade. Sponsored, it's a metallic chocolate with a teal shift. That's nice. And lastly, we have Ginger, which is a matte caramel brown. Here are all the swatches for Jackie's palette, friends. I cannot wait to dip in, and again I will share my thoughts on the palette overall at the end of the video. Typically I'm not a fan of ABH shadows in the palettes. I actually prefer her singles better, and I definitely expect these to have kickback as I usually do with her other 14 pan palettes, especially since a few of these mattes are pressed pigments. But even though there is a lot of kickback in the pan, I do expect a lot of pigment to be distributed on the lid, so definitely looking forward to that. And with all that said, on the lids, I have my Too Faced Born This Way multi-use concealer in Natural Beige as my eye base. Because ABH shadows tend to be a little soft, especially in the palette, I might set this concealer because I don't want the color to grab too much on the lid, so let me do that right now. Just setting a little bit with loose powder, especially around the crease area. There we go. I'm just using the brush from the palette because sometimes it is useful to have around. Wayne Goss number 16 with Pinker. I'm gonna start that through the crease. Okay, we are up and ready to go. And as usual, there is a lot of kickback in the pan, but you know, not too bad on the lid. What I'm interested to see how these shadows layer, because sometimes, unfortunately, with a few ABH palettes in the past, that when combining the shadows, sometimes they do get muddy. And I don't know if it's because they're so pigmented that when layered, they don't actually look that diffused. So you see there that it has a little more pigment on this portion of my crease than the others. I always expect that from ABH shadows, and that's why I wanted to set my concealer to kind of avoid that dark spot. Same brush now with Supreme, taking it over the edge of Pinker. Oh, that's pretty. Pinker with my Refer, I believe this is number 17. It's a very small brush. Along the lower lash line. Wow, wow. Taking my Hakuhodo B142 with Pinker, and I'm punching in more color throughout the crease just to kind of even this out so it doesn't look too out of place. And then I'm slowly pulling it through. Looking good so far. Reference number 1 with Wigglies. Let's do this. Oh, this is dry. Not too bad, friends. Just patting it in and under the crease. I'm definitely not about the cut crease life because I'm just lazy, so sorry. This is great dry. That has nice shine, very creamy, spreads easily. Now let's do Zam. Same brush. I might have to wet this because it has a lot more texture than Wigglies. Yeah, that's what I'm about to do. It's more so because of the texture of the shadow, the formula, than anything. Wet that with my Max Fix Plus. Now in on the third of the lid. Can't talk, hello. There we go. We got a lot more shine from that. I'm using my finger just to pat the edges. Going back in again just to get more zam on the inner third. And just to add something else to the mix, I'm going in with lituation. Lituation. Same reference number 1, but to the inner third of the lower lash line. Taking Soleil on my pinky and then on the inner corner. All right, let's do the other eye and I'll be right back. And here is the finished look, friends. On the lashes, I have Kiss Lashes in Ritzy. And let me close the lid so you could actually see what's going on. How do you like it? I'm feeling it. Wide shot of the look, and on the lips I have Charlotte Tilbury's Kissing Lipstick in Hepburn Honey, lined with her Lip Cheat in Iconic Nude. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This is outrageously gorgeous. And I'm not saying because it's Jackie Aina. I mean, I'm actually quite surprised with how well Pinker blended. And I realized when I was doing the other eye, I went in really heavy with Pinker initially because I'm very confident in my blending skills, but definitely go in easy with Pinker because it packs a lot of punch initially, but it does blend throughout the crease. I didn't have a problem with it, but I have phenomenal brushes. I'm not sure how that shade will roll with a synthetic brush or what have you, but the tone of Pinker is beautiful, and Supreme on the edges just turns it into a beautiful gradient. I'm sure Supreme on its own is outrageously gorgeous as well. And yeah, man, I love the combination of Zam and Wigglies and Lituation over here on the inner corner. I like this. You could probably use Supreme as a blush. You know what I want to do? I want to see... Oh, I might have to get up. I don't want to get up. I'm taking my Wayne Goss Holiday brush a little bit with Soleil. See how that does. Yes. You could even use a big blending brush, crease brush, and just take Soleil right here on the tops of your cheekbones. That's fabulous. Go in lightly because it is an eyeshadow and it packs punch. So if you don't want a lot of texture, I would go in with the light hand, but it's nice to know that you could use Soleil as a highlighter. All right, friends, I'm very pleased with this look. So far, so good. Let's move on to the next. Wave number 16 with Ages. I'm curious to see how Big Wig will apply, on edges. You know, I want that blue to be maintained. Oh, hold on. Let me set my lid. Okay, we got, oh my God. Wait a minute, hold on. I don't know if that was because that was from Pinker, but man, I'm switching brushes. Woo! Sonia G, Blend the Pro with Ages. See if that kind of lightens it up. But Edges got some punch, man. I'm patting down first. Let's pat. I love this color though. It's rich. Just trying to shape this out. Ooh, that's pretty. All right. Moment of Truth, Hakuhodo B142 with Big Wig. I want to see how this purple pigment stands up against another shadow. I'm going in easy. I want to make sure I maintain control here. Looks good so far. I love how that's blending. Or I love how it still appears purple and is not turning too muddy. But I am being very careful because if I overblend, I feel like it could. Especially here. We don't want any problems. I'm using very, very light pressure. I'm not over manipulating what's already on the crease. All right, not too bad. Taking a little bit more here throughout the crease, just so it doesn't look like it abruptly ends center of the lid. All right, no, we're cooking, man. We're cooking. Blender Pro just on the edges to make them look more diffused. Sonia G, Build a 3 with Shookington. Applying dry. Oh, wow. Hello. I'll still wet it because I want that blue shift to come through real strong, okay? With already what's, oh, yeah. That's much better. Oh, I love that. Yes. Build a 3 with Dollars to the inner third on top of Shookington. Oh, that's not coming out like we like. I think Dollars is the same with Zam. You gotta wet it because it's very textured, or else it would just apply very scattered. There we go. Hey there, what's going on? Reference number 17 with Big Wig, add a third lower lash line. I'll also take the opportunity with this brush to kind of refine the point here. What should we do here on the inner corner? You know what? Let's go with Wigglies. Wigglies. Why not? That will be our featured Oh, that, you know, I always forget how cranberry this looks. That's interesting. I mean, I could have made it all purple. I could have played Shookington here too, but you know, I just want to use everything at once. I'm sorry. I will gently now zhuzh this because got a little too much shimmer on the crease. I'm using my reference number 17 with Big Wig just to kind of fix that. Soleil with my reference number 3 pencil brush on the inner corner. I did get fallout. Probably that was from Shookington when I loaded the brush. Was not the most careful in making sure I kicked off the excess, but you know what, I'll fix it in a bit. Big Wig B142 Hakuhodo brush just to kind of make that a little smoother. All right, friends, let's do the other eye and I'll be right back. I look complete and same lashes on from the last look. What do you think? What do we think about Shookington? I think it's so beautifully metallic-y purple. And a wide shot of the look, friends. Same lip combo on from before. And I get how applying red on the inner third or just lower lash line in general can kind of leave you looking a little dead, a little eye disease, but I just wanted to see how it looked. You could very much just apply edges, that first shade on the transition, Shookington on the lid, and be done. Edges on the lower lash line or just Shookington on the lower lash line, or you take Zolas all over the lid with edges, or maybe you take it with Big Wig, that purple matte. There's so many things you can do to make any eye look I present to you easier. The reason I layer on all these shadows is just to give you an opportunity to see how the shadows perform on a wider spectrum in terms of technique. Like, how does Wiggly's look on the lower lash line as opposed to this does in the lid? But keep in mind, you can stick to one shadow or 2 or 3, right? If you want to apply a totally different color onto your inner corner from the palette. So I went there with this combination because I want to try as many as possible. But again, just know that you can take either edges or Big Wig by themselves and pair it with one of the metallics we applied on the eyes. Now, Big Wig, I don't know how it blends by itself, but I will say if you apply it on top of ginger, just be very careful. Go in layers, because if you go in with too much, I feel it will turn out muddy. Like, for the most part, it still looks purple, but perhaps if I applied it on its own, it will appear more distinctly purple than how it does when applied on top of edges. Let's now move into the third look. Definitely want to see how ginger and credit look together, so I'll see you here in a bit. Number 16 with ginger. I didn't set my concealer because I feel we'll be all right with ginger. It is the lightest matte besides Supreme in the palette, so I feel we could safely build this up without feeling it's going to grab too much of the concealer. All right, doing well so far. Now you could very much just apply this all over your crease, lid, lower lash line and be done. You could pair it with a more gold-like rose gold metallic, hello grammar. Ginger's pretty easy to blend, I gotta say. All right, credit with my Hakuhodo B142. I know it looks purple, but I wiped it, okay? I'm gonna pat that down. Patting first to get the majority of this shadow on the outer corner first, and then I'll use the tip of the brush to carefully wing it out, pulling it through the crease as well to get a little more color there. Taking ginger again on my number 16 to further add some gradient here. Credit my refer number 17 on the outer third. Not too bad. I think that looks pretty good. I did take my time with it because I wanted to maintain control over how this blended and how it diffused. It doesn't look too patchy. It doesn't separate where I feel like sometimes Anastasia mattes can do when you layer them on top of each other. Sonia G built a 3 with Sponsored. I'm gonna apply it dry first. Oh wow, okay. I went in so fast I cannot comprehend the emotions right now that are running through my veins. That's a fun color. Wetting, of course. Applying on top of what we just laid down, using the tip of the brush to just lightly carve out the lid. Trust issues, same build of 3 on the inner third, and just combining it. Ooh, that's nice and shiny with Sponsored. Back with my refer number 17 with credit, just to kind of judge here the crease because I think I took sponsor a little too high, which usually happens with this eye. I don't know why. It's fine. All right, we like that. Taking Duelist with my Refer number 3 pencil brush on the inner third. I'm just patting it down. I'm patting it down dry because it's not bad dry, but will definitely get more shine when it's spritzed, and it will help the pigment stick better. Trust issues with that same pencil brush, and I'm just pulling it around the inner corner, and might as well use that same shade for that highlight. All right, friends, do the other eye and I'll be right back. Look number 3 complete. I totally screwed this up. You can see that I loved how I applied the shimmer here, but then I got a little crazy on this side. But this eye always gets so crazy, so I really don't know what to do. Same lashes from the previous few that we already did. You cannot go wrong with a matte plum brown and a teal shifty metallic on the lid. Same lip combo from last look, and listen friends, this is like your neutral dream with that pop of something on the lid if you don't want to keep it rose gold or gold. This is a beautiful shade we've seen before, absolutely. A shade in an Anastasia palette, I'm not too sure about that. I mean, I don't have all her palettes. I actually gave away some to you guys, but this is a beautiful combination, and I especially love the tone of Credit. Like it said in the description, it's a matte plum brown. I tend to gravitate toward plum browns. I just feel they got a lot more character than your typical deep brown or even warm deep brown, because it's so smoky without being like an exclusively black shadow, that I feel with this type of a tone you have a little more control. You could even use this as a lash line smoke if you need. You don't even have to go in with Credit. You could go in with Ginger and then maybe Sponsored on the lid, or maybe Duelist on the lid, or Trust Issues. If you want me to do more beginner looks using the Jackie palette, I will more than happy devote a video just to beginner friendly looks that I keep it to 1 or 2 shadows per look. But today we're having a little fun, we're diving in. But I love this. So good. I want to do one more look. Is that okay? I want to use Big Wig, that purple matte, all over the crease just to see how it does on its own. Maybe use Supreme to blow it out, and we'll decide when we want to put on the lid. And yeah, let's get into it. I'm just gonna pat down some powder because, you know, Big Wig, I feel it got some punch, so we're gonna be prepared for her. My Sonia G, Builder Pro. You're too far. Oh, thank you some. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's take Big Wig across the crease. This might have been a better color to pat in first, but it looks pretty purple. Like to do this first and then blend from there. Hokuto B142 with Big Wig, and I'm just patting down more color along the crease and outer corner and inner as well. I want to get that a little more saturated. Ooh, my battery was getting full with all these looks. This is how the purple is looking, and is grabbing a little throughout the crease, but in order to prevent that from happening, like I said before, it might be more helpful to punch in the color first and then blend out the edges from there. That's what Rocio does a lot. She punches in first and then blends from there. So with that said, taking my smaller crease brush with Big Wig just to pat in more color there. Taking Supreme on that same Hakuhoro B142 along the edges of Big Wig, which I think will look so pretty. Oh, that sun change. Here we come. Not too bad. Big Wig now on the lower lash line. Sonia G, Builder 3 with Lituation. I feel this shade takes on a similar texture to Wiggly's. Very smooth, easy to spread across the lid. I might wet it just to get more shine. This is definitely the quieter out of all the metallics because it's a beautiful shade, but I love the tone of it. You could rely on this shadow to give you a nice taupey smoky eye just with this shade alone. I'm sure you could use it on the lid, spread it throughout the crease, because it's a lot smoother than the more textured shadows in here like Zam and Duelas. So you probably have a little more freedom in how you manipulate the shadow in that way. Definitely going in with Sponsored with my Sonia J, Builder 3. I want to see how that looks on the inner third of the lower lash line. So lay Refer number 3 pencil brush on the inner corner. Alright friends, do the other eye and I'll be right back. Look complete friends, we have the same lashes on from Kiss in the style Ritzy, and here's a close-up of the look. Eyeshadow the look, I have the same lip combo from the last 3 eyeshadow looks. Got a little lazy. I feel like I'm doing so much to my eyeballs that I decided to keep the lips just very light, you know what I mean? Is the purple the easiest to blend and get it to the tone and saturation that I want? I had to work for it, and I could also experiment with other brushes, but for the most part I loved how this turned out. I love lituation on the lid, and quite frankly I feel you can use any of these metallics on your lid, inner third or wherever you like. And overall I feel this palette offers up a wide spectrum of colors and textures that you can create a lot of looks with. For someone who owned Norvina and Modern Renaissance, and the reason I bring those palettes up because it seems they're the most brought up in terms of comparing Jackie Aina to a lot of Anastasia palettes. Modern Renaissance, as beautiful as it was, depending on who you speak to, I feel offered up limited opportunities in terms of varying eye looks. No matter how many shadows you combine from Modern Renaissance or which ones you pair together, it will always look like a red toned type of smoky eye. Even if you use Cypress Umber with one of the more neutral toned shadows, it will still be your brown smoky eye, whereas this has purple and cranberry and rose gold and duochrome this and duochrome that. So I feel there's a lot more you can do, especially in regards to the metallic shades and choices in here. Norvina was phenomenal. The problem was I felt a lot of, like, the pink for instance was more of a dusty pink, and Supreme has a lot more depth to it and I think will show up better on deeper complexions, as well as the Soul something. It was a periwinkle blue that I wish had more depth to it as well, because I love pastels. I've incorporated pastels a few times here on my channel, but because of the tone it looked a little dusty. I made it work though. I definitely made it work. I gave away that palette. I believe I don't have it with me no longer. And there was like an orange type of tone in there, and you had your deep brown, and you had a lot of rose gold and bronzes in that metallic color story. But again, I feel Jackie's palette just offers up a little more comprehension in terms of different looks you can do. I believe that the 4 looks we did here on the video are vastly different from one another to me, and we could discuss that down below. I had a lot of fun dealing with this palette. It was great to jump around with the different mattes and the different metallics in here, combining different shades. Again, I'll be more than happy to come on here and do a beginner series with this palette, using fewer shades per eye look, make it a little more user-friendly and less intimidating. This definitely was a review and just for myself to get a better handle of the palette, and I will still consider this a first impressions, simply because this is the first day I'm dipping into it, and I could always revisit it and share my thoughts on it as I use it more. Is it my favorite Anastasia palette out of the bunch? I don't know yet. Like, I haven't used Riviera in a little bit ever since that launched, and I'm sure that might be compared to Jackie's palette. But I like Jackie's palette because it has, again, your neutrals and your pinks and your purples and everything in between. It has a little bit of everything. In regards to the performance, I didn't have any issues, but again, I do a lot of eyeshadow look videos on my channel. I've become accustomed with different textures of shadows. I know what to expect with Anastasia. Some people are not crazy about Anastasia, and I get it, because some of the textures, depending on, are very soft and need a little more finagling than, like, let's say a Viseart shadow, which just, I mean, is effortless to work with. And I love this color story actually. Like, I feel in person you will get more excited about it than you will if you just saw it online in a photograph. Let me know if you picked it up or if you're not. And yes, I will be sure to see you soon. Let me know if you want to see a beginner video using this tutorial. And until then, friends, that's a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I'll see you in here again with another tutorial, review, multi-look video, or favorites list. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.